Hello, it is game time. This is the Hello Dota 2 final between Lincoln's Over Vanguard every time and Page 1. This is Albie, and as always, Thanatos is here with me.
Hi guys. It's been a long morning.
Yeah, it is now slightly later in the morning, getting towards a reasonable time.
To wake up.
To wake up, yeah. We have been up for many an hour already, but very excited for this game. Lincoln's Over Vanguard every time. We know them quite well from our casting of the Sunday Evening Cup series. And yeah, really hope that they manage to defeat Page 1, the reigning champions of Hello Dota.
I believe this is a rematch from the last time. I think this is the fourth installment of the Hello Dota 2 and this is a rematch. How exciting, of the third installment, where Page 1 were victorious. Lincoln's Over Vanguard every time. We have seen them in our Sunday Evening Cup series, which of course you can find on the Twitch stream. What's the profile there, Albie?
Twitch.tv/A1BY, and the VODs of that are uploaded to the YouTube channel, which is user Albie Dota 2.
Yeah, and you can find all of my various wheelings and dealings. I'm Thanatos, I like Dota 2. It's Thanatos Dota 2. Twitter, Twitch, YouTube, Thanatos Dota 2, and you can catch us on Sunday Evening Cup Series on Monday morning, 9 a.m. Australian Eastern Daylight Savings Time, if you are an Australian, and if not, why don't you figure out the time zone?
Oh, time zones, hell. And probably Lincoln's Over Vanguard every time will be there as well, so you can catch them again. And this is a best of 3. That is right, a best of 3 to decide the final. The winner taking home 10 keys. 10 motherfucking new keys. New Ember keys.
Yep.
Get ready. Prepare your body. And Crystal Maiden has been chosen this time by Lincoln's Over Vanguard every time.
10 seconds to go.
And for second place, don't go home disappointed. Have they got a consolation prize for you?
I believe
1,
they do.
2, 3, 4. High 5 uncommon items. That's one uncommon item each for a full morning of Dota.
You read it right. That is infinite times more than we're getting for our morning.
It's quite a lot more. I'm getting bad sleep hygiene.
Yeah. Oh dear. Anyway, Crystal Maiden being picked up for love, and hopefully it won't be the carry Crystal Maiden that we saw from last game.
Yeah, last time Meepa decided that the jungle was Crystal Maiden's home, went there and, look, in all fairness, got like a 20 or 22 minute sheep stick. So did manage to find a decent item to get with the farm, but you can only get that farm if your team is already on the big lead. And
which they were.
Yeah, which they were, but you could have extended that lead if you had been in the fights with something useful instead of a Hand of Midas.
Yeah, definitely went the Hand of Midas jungle build, but they did get 3 sheep sticks on their team in, well, really quickly, and they were just pigs running around everywhere, and didn't work well for the opposition.
Shadow Shaman's chickens couldn't handle the pigs.
10 seconds to go.
Some kind of animal farm hierarchy developing there.
Yeah, far more pigs. The chickens were far outnumbered, and Page 1 made quick work of that game. The OD got ridiculously farmed, so picking up a Bounty Hunter again, which they also had in the last game, and banning out the Viper and the Lich, the Timbersaw and Elder Titan bands coming out from Lincoln's Over Vanguard.
Yeah. I'm still so entranced by that logo. Really, the best picture, I think, of any professional team that I can think of. Alliance has a letter A, DK, the letters D and K.
Pretty fucking shit.
Exactly. Na'Vi, the letters Na'Vi. Come on, guys, let's get creative with it. And Lincoln's Over Vanguard every time have done exactly that. Put a Lincoln over a
such style. They've just done it so well.
No, I immediately hate them. They misspelled Vanguard, and I'm now rooting unashamedly for Team Page 1.
Why have you told me this?
You can't unknow that.
I can't unsee. I'm gonna have to message them. I'm gonna have to. This is just unacceptable.
Ask for a remake. Yeah.
Oh my god.
You look at it and just hope that you've got some kind of 7 a.m. sickness where suddenly you've forgotten how to spell or how to read, but you look at it harder and harder and it's just just eating
It's
away.
indisputably there, and it's such a fuck up. Oh my god.
You done goofed. You gone and fucked it.
I'm trying to see that and retain my love for them, but
it is team love.
It is team love. It's we'll have to. It was so good before.
Chen's been banned out.
Okay, yeah, let's try and move on from this absolute calamity. Oh my god. Okay, I can't believe this has happened, but yeah. Okay, Chen's been banned out, and the Clockwork also getting banned. So I'm not quite sure. Just like standard stuff so far. Nothing really to say, I don't think. Do you have anything to say about these bans and picks?
I'm a little bit interested if they decide to ban out the Chen. I don't...
Yeah.
I mean, why? Chen's not that great, I don't think. I mean, it's still seeing a decent amount of play and an incredible win rate, but I think that's because Puppy and Ake like playing Chen. When Alliance and Navi like playing a hero, the stats are going to spike up. I can just promise you that. And I just don't think it's actually a hero anymore. I don't see how it synergizes well with Bounty Hunter. I don't get it. I don't see it.
I don't think it makes that much sense as a ban. It does have powerful early to mid game pushing power, especially with Hand of God, but I don't like the ban.
And now they do take out the Naga Siren as well, which I think makes so much more sense. It's nice.
Absolutely.
You get a Naga Siren Visage, that's a really, really lovely support combination. TI3 special, just going to ruin all sorts of faces. Just hold them down and slap them to bits with your Soul Assumption, negative armor all the way, and you put in any carry into that tri-lane, you're going to be doing good work.
Yeah, for sure. And Snare as well is so powerful early game. Setting up those Visage stuns, as you mentioned.
I just can't stop looking at that.
Radiant's pick.
Don't remind me again, please. Please, let's try and move on.
I should have kept it to myself.
Oh, you should have. It's so bad. I guess it's always been like that as well. Oh my god.
Maybe this is a one-time offer. This is just
maybe maybe it's ironic or something. I don't know. Maybe it's
ironic. It's hipster.
Yeah, it's some in-depth parody of something.
Yeah.
How uncultured Page 1 are with their crude penal drawings.
5 seconds.
I think penal is different.
I think it is. I don't.
Let's go phallic.
Yeah, phallic creations. Just desecrating the mid lane on those flags. Anyway, Wind Ranger being picked up.
Good. Factual information.
And Weaver.
Picked up by Love. Marana banned out by Page 1. For facts, ma'am, just for facts.
Have some facts.
Here they are. And I'm still. Where does that Wind Ranger fit in? I think Page 1 last time decided to go a Bounty Hunter Wind Ranger offensive dual lane.
Yep.
To try and make space, I suppose, for Meeper to get farm on that Crystal Maiden. I didn't even know it. But,
yeah, that's pretty much exactly it. And Death Prophet now. Bit of pushing power there.
Now the Death Prophet. Now this I like. Get this game done and dusted with.
Get it moving. Yeah.
Starting to feel it. I'll admit it. Haven't slept in a little while now.
Yeah. Wind Ranger last game really had quite a lot of solo farm with the Bounty Hunter kind of trolling through the jungle, looking to get those pickoffs. Wasn't too successful in doing so. Actually maxed Janata rather than getting a second point in Shadow Walk or in Shuriken Toss, but.
If Lissy Forza played again, I'd really hope to see the Bounty Hunter leave that Janata at level 1. You get the first hit, you get all the slow going, and then you're able to track him down with Shuriken Toss. I nearly mentioned Abaddon, but oh well. Abaddon being picked up now for Team Love, and I think that's a really solid choice. Abaddon, Weaver, it's pork and apples. It just works. Everyone knows it works. It's really good. You allow Weaver to get so divey with it. You get to remove track as well from the Bounty Hunter. It just makes acres of sense.
Yeah, I like it. It's a good pick. What are you thinking for the last pick for Lincoln's Vanguard?
Well, they've got. I think Batrider is now essentially a mid hero. You lose some of the dominance with the 10 damage nerf on your base attack, but
5 seconds.
I still think you need to put it in a mid. The jungle is nerfed a little bit with the way those camps have been changed around in their orientation. You can get some mud golems, which really stymie a batrider, so I think it's just got to be essentially flat mid. Crystal Maiden Weaves. Oh wow, I just didn't get a chance. Lifestealer. It's going to be a lifestealer.
Yep, sweet. And Outworld Devourer being picked up as the last pick for page 1. Yeah, they were very successful with that in the last game, so I can't say I'm too surprised to see him coming out again, and probably quite strong against the batrider in mid.
Yeah, it's decently strong, but it's slightly interesting to note they have changed up the who takes the hero. Outworld Devourer was placed as a safe lane farming carry last time by the Fame, but looks like they have decided with more of a lane-oriented style of choosing heroes to play as instead of the hero style, and that means Allure will be going mid on the OD, I believe.
Yeah, I believe so, and looks like the Death Prophet therefore will be heading into the lane. Probably safe lane, you would have to say.
Yeah, I would think so. I mean, it's not going to be an uncontested lane. Weaver Abaddon is a very strong offensive dual lane if you want to play it that way.
Better get ready.
Absolutely. Okay, well, let's run through these teams. For the Radiant and page 1, we have the Fame heading to the safe lane on that Death Prophet. Allure on the Outworld Devourer heading to mid. Neck on the Wind Ranger. Meeper taking up the Bounty Hunter. And I'm missing someone. Horza on the Visage.
Yep, and look at the courier for Team Love. It's got the headlights on that yak, and the headlights are staring down Chim on the Crystal Maiden. Fan of Soyon, we've seen him in the offlane in the Sunday Evening Cup Series. Gods taking the Weaver. Abaddon is going to be handled by Fun, and the overextended mid player will be Batrider, and that will be handled by the player known as overextended mid player.
Not overextended just yet, but I'm sure he will be heading towards being overextended as soon as humanly possible. I like that yak. It's bringing back the positive feelings that I have generally had towards this Love team, but which were slightly challenged by that awful misspelling.
Yeah, but we can't see that anymore.
Thank God. We're just looking at Love. We just see Love, and that's a beautiful thing.
All you need is Love.
Yep. And a Lifestealer. Well, Fan of Soyon taking up the Lifestealer. I think he's mainly played their offlaner in previous games that we've seen. But
he certainly has, but you know, Weaver is kind of a funny one. You chuck a Weaver Abaddon offlane, that can be just as effective, if not more, as far as getting the farm as you would see a safe lane Lifestealer with the Crystal Maiden support. So, you know, just deciding that this is the way the lanes want to go, and God's getting up a real nice block, managing to send out a range creep. Isn't that lovely? As Allure went for blocking my mid lane, giving himself a little bit of position early on.
Such a block.
Such a block. Game changed, game 1.
Yep. First big win.
We'll move on to game 2. So.
Next level blocks, move to game 2, please.
Yep. Just a reminder, this is the final of the Hello Dota 2 4th installment, I believe. A rematch of the 3rd installment where Team Love went down to page 1. This is a best of 3. Game 1 coming at you. Is Albion and Phantom.
Absolutely. Look at this Crystal Maiden heading straight into the jungle. Getting Frostbite first.
Alright. And it's the same thing.
Yep.
Oh my goodness.
Same thing from a different team, so it's catching on. It's catching on. I can't say I'm thrilled.
No. I can say other things, except I'm actually not sure if I'm allowed to say those other things.
Fan of Soyon copping some harass from that Wind Ranger.
Yeah, we have
a bit of a tough time against this dual lane, I would have thought.
Yeah, perhaps you'd like a support hero there.
Yeah, maybe you would, but too bad your support is now carry.
Support is Crystal Maiden. She'll be farming up gold.
I believe she's got 4 clarity potions, 3 now, and will be farming up. Not given half a damn about this Lifestealer copping any harass. As he is, and he's not having much luck with these last hits either.
Yeah, Fan of Soyon we've seen is really, let's go with momentum player. Has had a couple of struggles in the early game, and apart from one really quality Timbersaw game, has really struggled in a couple of Team Love's games. So we'll see if Fan of Soyon can do alright, but has some issues in lane, and after that, if he doesn't get a good start, can really struggle.
Yeah, Yeah, we haven't seen him in the carry role though, so I don't know. It'll be interesting to see how he goes. We'll definitely have our eyes on him. Fame doing a reasonable job, and the OD again comprehensively winning mid, as you would expect.
Yeah, you certainly would. OD's doing a very nice job so far. Was pulled 3 whole tangos, got that null talisman and magic stick advantage.
Well, missed that for sure, but a good first blood there, going the way of Abaddon and Weaver, and against that Death Prophet.
Yeah, and this is the power of Abaddon and Weaver. You can Shikuchi in and you're essentially invulnerable. You're pasted, invisible, and even if they get detection and even if they manage to silence you or something, it's immediately removed by a good aphotic shield. And,
yeah.
And it's just massive problems if you're page 1 looking at the Fame and Forza trying to get some work done.
Well, guess what Meepa's doing? Again, getting 2 points in Janata already without even getting Shuriken Toss. 1 in Shadow Walk, 2 in Janata. And
that's so. Meepa was the farming Crystal Maiden last game, and
what's he?
Yeah,
he definitely was. Hey.
Forza, who's now playing the Visage, was taking up the Bounty Hunter in that situation, but deciding to issue the Shuriken Toss, not even 1 level. I mean, it makes a little bit more sense
if you're in lane, yeah.
Now the Crystal Maiden making an appearance, Fan of Soil and taking some harass, Frostbite going to be thrown down, and Neck going to be in a little bit of trouble trying to run away, Open Wounds being chucked down. Neck going to take a full Meepa, trying to fight through this. I don't think you can take these 2.
Yeah.
Fan of Soil gets a good early start. Perhaps we'll be able to parlay this into a big game on the lifestealer.
Well, I would have. This is like big for love. I would have thought that page 1 should be winning these lanes, but 2 early kills going the way of love.
Fan of Soil now taking some more harass. Does only have 1 tango remaining, and they spot this Batrider. Has the Hasterin available, but no level 6 and no Flame Break yet, which I'm a little bit surprised by. I tend to get that at level 4 if I'm able to.
Certainly going to make ganking difficult without it. And now at bottom, Godos getting right in there on Horza, and it looks like he's going to take another fall. Grave Chill does go down, but that auto attack is enough to take him out, and another kill going the way of this bottom lane.
Be careful.
Yeah, Fame, I don't know. Trying to just deal a bit of extra harass to the Abaddon and pays for it with his life. I mean, Abaddon is tanky, man. Godos just getting out of that tower range in time. Now with 1280 gold and does have a salve available. Handily delivered by that Abaddon. At top, Lifestealer forced to invest into a creep, and now Meepa gets the open wound thrown down on him. Rages and gonna dive the tower. No, wisely chooses to back off.
Abaddon nearly caught out, forced to use his last remaining mana on a Aphotic Shield to try and defend himself, and that leaves Gods a little bit unprotected. Gods also out of mana and slightly inefficient, having to both leave lane at the same time.
Yeah, a bit unfortunate there, but God's very low.
Yeah, it looks like he'll pick up a Ring of Health, or perhaps Voidstone, something. Yeah, Ring of Health, and that will enable him to stay in lane a little bit better, even without Abaddon's presence.
Crystal Maiden continuing to jungle as much as she can, returning to lane for a moment to get that kill on the, I believe it was, the Wind Ranger, but was it Meepa as well? Did they catch him out? No, he has not yet died, but returning to the jungle. Most likely, I would have to, unfortunately say, trying to farm up that Midas.
Yeah, I'm devastated by it. I think I might agree with you on that. It could be a Midas. Where is Crystal Maiden's gold? Perhaps we should give her some credit. She's not maxing out the Arcane or choosing to get some levels in Frostbite, which does seem a more aggressive build, trying to have a little bit more impact in the game. But
yep. Soyon does have his Midas recipe coming to him now.
Certainly does, and that's going to be something along the lines of a 7-minute 30 timing, which isn't horrible, especially considering that he's been solo laning for the majority of the game.
Batrider has hit 6, is now level 7, and has the Invis Room, but Horza and the Fame well back here, although may get caught out of position. And here comes the last. Not even going to need it, the Soul Assumption though, going down on an overextended mid player, and they will both go down again. A demolition of this bottom lane by Gods and Fun, with a bit of help there by that overextended mid player.
Yeah, I think someone from page 1's top lane, perhaps the Windrunner, needs to make her presence felt, go down bottom, try and latch a shackle on the two heroes and somehow retrieve this seemingly irretrievable bot lane. It's massive problems. Fan of Soyan does manage to pick up his Hand of Midas.
Yep, looks like Meepa might be doing that just now, or at least going mid. Perhaps going to go on this overextended mid player who gets thrown in the Astral Imprisonment. Here he goes, and going to land that hit. Going to throw down the track. Going to get lassoed, however. And overextended mid player should be okay here. Goes back in and gets the ult thrown down on him. Meepa so low and gets taken out as well. Well, that's a 2-for-1 trade. They did have track. But, yeah, both falling.
Looks
and
like
again on bottom.
Down bottom.
Yeah, God this time getting burst down. That Soul Assumption extremely strong, getting a bit overconfident there under tower. Fun, however, still going for it. The Aphotic Shield is going to do work, but he'll have to be out.
He needs to get the heck out of there.
Yeah, absolutely. Well, he should not have been in.
Yeah, I think just a little bit overconfident, trying to get in there with the Aphotic Shield and miss cooldown perhaps being enough. Borrowed time, just off cooldown a second or two after he died, but it's just slightly misjudging the killing potential with the Wind Ranger rotation, about power shot proving too much.
Yep, overextended mid player going to try and pick up this double damage rune and will.
That's nice.
Certainly is.
Dire's mid tower won't last much
Wind
longer.
Ranger now rotating bot along with the Bounty Hunter. Going to look for a kill on Gods here. They do have track up.
Yeah, I don't really see this happening. You need to land a silence as well as a track.
They do land the silence. There's the Shuriken Toss. Getting very low, but... Oh, that power shot!
Sniper!
Wind Ranger done it! Well, that is a great pick-off. And Page 1 definitely fighting themselves back into this game.
Radiant's top tower
That
is
is
hurting.
an excellent kill, and maybe this is the silver bullet. Weaver, always so hard to kill, but if you get the track and the silence off, maybe it'll be enough to get a couple of extra kills on the Weaver, who has already died twice, with an Abaddon in the lane too.
Yeah, and really unfortunate that the Weaver died those couple of times. They were doing so well, but Astral Imprisonment going down mid and the Bounty Hunters are coming around as well. Crystal Maiden is there, and the TP in by Fun. Well, the Aphotic Shield doing work, and overextended mid player being able to survive quite handily, throws in that flame break, but not going to hit anyone. And meanwhile, Fan of Soyan doing a reasonable job farming up top, has the highest net worth in the game, followed by that Batrider.
Yeah, Batrider's been really effective, managed to already get 5 kills.
And the Blink.
And a Blink Dagger in 10 minutes.
10. That is strong.
And this isn't like, it's not like for Crystal Maiden's been stacking camps at him. I haven't seen the Batrider go into a jungle once yet,
Yeah.
so...
Has been being really effective.
Not a greedy Batrider, just an effective one.
Yeah.
Now the Invis Rune plus Blink Dagger. Yeah. Well, that was going to happen.
Yeah.
Right? It's going to happen, right?
Defensive Astral Imprisonment. But yeah, will be instantly taken out. And now the Visage, not completely out of danger, but with the Familiars coming in, he should be fine. So Assumption with the Invis Rune is popped by the overextended mid player. He will be out just fine.
Unfortunate, bad. Yeah. It looks like they know where Batrider is and they have scouted him out. Wind Ranger trying to do something about it, but so far, Fan of Soyan, momentum player, building momentum in the early game.
Yep, Meepa going on bottom. God's trying to get out of there. The silence is landed, but he should be able to escape. Shuriken Toss, oof, very low and still getting chased down, but he will be out okay. Really good for Love that they managed to get that pick off on the Outworld Devourer, who really dominated last game for Page 1.
Yeah, is handled by a different player this time, no longer going for safe lane carry, which for them appears to be the Fame, instead giving it to Allure, who played Viper in the last game, but managing to shut him down just a little bit, and Allure did play exceptionally well, I think, on that Viper, especially in the laning phase.
Yeah, absolutely. Getting really farmed towards the end, even though he went that Mech and Agus kind of support build first.
They need to do something about Fan of Soyan. I think he's been farming his safe lane pretty much on his own, and it's not like they have a bad ganking lineup. Visage, Bounty Hunter, Wind Ranger are all able to do a decent amount of work. I mean, Rage Infest on lifestealer, not easy to deal with, and I do want to keep my eye on bottom lane. It looks like Fame could be in a little bit of trouble. Now Chim making his presence felt. Walks the wrong way, hits the Frost Nova, Crystal Nova first, and doesn't get off a Frostbite. That's a disappointment to Love, and looks like Phantom Soil's going to be scouted out in the jungle. Meepa going to land first hit, Wind Ranger coming up second.
Track is landed, the Batrider is in though, the dust has popped. Does he have Lasso available? He does, but he's going to be taken down without it.
Watch your feet.
Neck needs to be real careful now. Does have Wind Run still available, but you don't want to be using it in overextended mid player. Believe it or not, looking to get aggressive, and now they're pinging out the OD. I think OD could be in trouble.
Yep.
Death Prophet dies bottom.
Oh well,
Oh, wow.
see that in the slightest, but Frostbite again not quite being in range. Fan of Soyon and Crystal Maiden, the only two players in this game who are yet to die, and that is not what you want to see as page 1. That lifestealer really getting the farm that he needs, and is now infested in the Batrider, who is flying over, maybe able to get Lasso. It's scouted out by the courier, but
Courier.
the blink in for the courier kill, and he will get it.
It's a massive courier kill. That had Yule Scepter on it, as well as Meepa working towards, I believe, what'll be a drum.
Yeah.
Neither item going to be able to be finished in the next 3 minutes. That's a massive play, and I like the commitment. Get the Blink Dagger in there and kill couriers. They matter.
Yeah, absolutely.
Looks like a big dive down bottom.
TP reaction coming in, the Fame extremely low. God's forced to time lapse out. Still only has that Ring of Health, not as farmed as I would have expected.
Yeah, has been feeling the pressure down bottom and doesn't even have Boots of Speed.
Yeah, those 3 deaths really showing.
You couldn't be more right. Fan of Soyon has finished up his armlet, and that's going to make him tanky and survivable and sugar and spice and everything nice.
Yeah, overextended mid player does have a haste rune, and the Lasso is up. Should be looking for a kill here, you would think. Wouldn't hurt to kill the OD again. Is already 0 for 3, so. Although, overextended mid player going on mid, manages to lasso Meepa, who is
He's already
right.
been dusted.
Yeah. That should be the end of him.
Trail goes
Astral Imprisonment going down bottom.
Looks like Weaver got caught up in there, and now Shikuchi's in. Has a Baton available to him for a little bit of protection. Allure gonna get caught out now, the Swarm gonna latch.
mid tower's coming apart.
The Aphotic Shield already been used on the Weaver, and now it won't be available for the next part of the engagement. The tower is destroyed mid. Gods will have to back out, and they're gonna try and take down some of these birds, forcing out a breed summon from Forza.
Yeah, Fan of Soyon still doing extremely well, having very little pressure put on him. And yeah, a bit of a concern is just happily farming up there, and Vav will be totally happy to take that.
Yeah, I mean, farmed lifestealers can do work. I don't think I'm breaking any new ground with that, am I?
Not to mention farmed Crystal Maiden, she has just picked up her Hand of Midas recipe and has almost enough gold to finish that up.
Dyer's mid tower won't last much longer.
And there it is.
Bit on her hand. It's
A pocked
16
upon her.
in.
Well, here goes the Batrider. Oh, just put in the Astral Imprisonment before he can let off that lasso, and the defensive TP is coming in now. Good Visage stun on that Batrider, and he's forced to back out. The ultimate of the Fame, that Death Prophet, forced to pop Exorcism.
Yeah, would really love it. Absolutely.
Now, Fan of Soyon diving deep on Meepa and manages to pick him off. Infests in those creeps, and he's going to be just fine.
He'll be on full health on the way out, and he'll be able to turn this into a decent sized push. He'll have a creep wave as well as another one coming pretty soon. Courier just respawning now.
Yeah, that really was a big blow.
Yeah, I think that was more important.
And meanwhile at bottom, Neck the Wind Ranger getting picked off with that lasso. Fun, finding himself a little deep, but borrowed time too strong.
The Radiant got one last.
Why are they engaging on the
well?
overextended mid player diving under tower now? Has the Aphotic Shield on top of himself and will be able to pick up the Death Prophet Zone next to fall. And Meepa wants a taste of it, getting on in there. I don't think they have any protection available to them. It looks as though they don't. They've caught up Meepa though. I don't know how they saw him.
I'm not
Nothing
sure.
in their inventories I can see, but perhaps the dust was used very early on in the piece.
Maybe.
That ended up being a...
Oh, they did have a sentry ward here just next to the tower. Right.
Oh, well, would you look at that?
Hiding under those trees. And yeah, that should be the end of that tower as well. So all the tier 1 towers going the way of love compared to none for page 1. And yeah, this is just going to help lifestealer's farm even more. What is that point booster that the lifestealer has?
Oh, that's a great question. There's only one item I can think of that has point booster and all of venom in it, but I don't even dare speak its name.
Yeah, indeed. I don't know that I've ever seen that picked up in the lifestealer before.
I certainly haven't. What's the point booster? Agonyms?
Which does not
Bloodstone?
affect... Well, surely it's the Eye of Skadi.
Fan of Soyon.
It's...
Please.
Well,
I don't think I can handle the newness of that meta.
I don't even. Well, it's interesting to be sure.
It sounds like the sort of thing you should be able to talk about, but I'm just so...
Yeah, I don't...
struck.
It's just picked up so rarely. What exactly are the stats on that item?
Yeah, I don't even know.
Yeah.
It's
Lots of health, lots of mana, and lots of stats.
I don't feel like you need that much hint, but...
I don't feel like you need... Yeah, the int... I mean, agility's nice, but an attack speed item would give you far more attack speed, like a Hyperstone and Assault Cuirass, but...
Yeah, Fun needs to be careful here.
Absolutely.
Astral Imprisoment's going to land on him first, and they are grouping up around what could be his corpse. Now they engage on him, and he's going to pop Borrowed Time Fame, taking a whole lot of damage. A massive Batrider bomb! Yule's being used by the Fame on the Death Prop, and now the Sandy's Eclipse being dropped over extend mid-play. Going to be first full Visage, also taking a spill. And now Neck in some deep couple Fan of Soin trying to chase after him. God's getting low, but needs to time lapse, and will survive on 40 health. Exorcism doing all sorts of work. Meepa going to escape with that Shadow Walk, and they do not have enough protection. Phantom Soin needs to be careful, has the armlet still toggled on, needs to be so careful, and still fall in the end to Neck. God's chasing him down, but Windrun is back up, and I think he'll be able to get the heck out of dodge.
Yeah.
Trouble brewing at Radiant's bottom tower.
That was a massive infest bomb. Batrider got in the middle of that final down.
Absolutely. All that fire, that massive infest doing huge damage. And yeah, this lifestealer is quite farmed.
Yeah, 11, 2, and 3 on the Batrider, by the way.
Yeah, the Batrider is playing out of his mind. It's really good.
Tremendous amount of work. And Gods is just able to find a little bit of space, a little bit of breathing room to try and get into this game, slowly creeping up that network chart, trying to chase down Fan of Soyon, but at this rate, I don't know if anyone will be able to this game, although depending on Questable, look at Lifestealer, he's got an Ultimate Orb in stash, it's happening!
Yep, it's happening, alright. It is 100% happening.
I don't want to criticize it out of hand.
Yeah, I mean, the slow will allow him to get more hits off, I guess.
The slow is nice, the health's okay, but it's so much money.
Yeah, it's super expensive.
But
then he can afford to go to for the late game. He is so rich. He has, well, double the gold of the highest on page 1. Or net worth, that is.
You don't think that there might be something a little more conventional, something, for the same money you could have, what, a heart?
Yep. Assault Cuirass.
Assault Cuirass is a little bit less. An Abyssal around
Extended mid-player and Fun. Both getting silenced up, but force stuffing out, Neck force stuffing in. The heal going up on Fun, and the Borrowed Time is going to get Yulesed. And, well, Borrowed Time will wear off, and a good use of the Yules there. Open Wounds going down on the OD, but manages defensive Astral Imprisonment. Phantom Soyon getting very deep, and Exorcism is popped off, doing huge damage to Gods, who will be forced to time-lapse out. The Outlaw Devourer is picked off, and now Phantom Soyon getting very low, but Wind Ranger taken out as well. Exorcism still doing work, and the final Soul Assumption will be enough to take out Phantom Soyon. Gods now getting deep. Meepa getting very low. Exorcism still reaching him, the Soul Assumption not quite enough. And now, Chim getting very deep.
Chim could have some problems there. Gods as well, he's trying to take down these familiars.
Yeah. The greedy. Oh, so greedy. taken out by Meeps.
Lord, what are you thinking of?
Meeps is lassoed up by the overextended mid player, but the flames are a bit slow coming. Still enough to take him out. Chim extremely low. One more auto attack from the same. Can't get it. Oh, denies the Oh dear.
Need to do it, but the style point's tremendous.
Yeah, absolutely.
Dyer's bottom tower's getting the business.
I am just blown away by the scatty. But what a fight. That was
Huge fight. It's not happening everywhere. It's still the Scotty.
Scotty dominates my mind. I think in the end you'd call that a pretty decent trade for page 1.
Yeah.
Now overextended mid player jumps in, doesn't have lasso available to him, but
yeah,
has a regen room, so it'd be just fine. But I was just gonna say, I think it's just in favor of page 1, an essentially even fight. You look at the charts, net worth, gold chart as well as experience, and it is probably sloping just in favor of love, but at this point, only going just in favor of love is essentially a win for page 1. So I think pretty close, and I want to talk about Scatty.
Yep. Oh, he has finished it up now. There it is in all its glory.
Do you like it?
I think there are better items for the money, but I still think it's good. Fun getting caught out in mid. Does have borrowed time. Will be able. Well, that Yule's again very effective against Abaddon. Does make up, but will be taken out by that Soul Assumption. Chim will have to be well out of there, getting Grave Chilled. And Soul Assumption again, the familiars will chase him down. Overextended mid player coming in to support Fan of Soyon, who is doing work on Allure, the Outworld Devourer. Good familiar stun, and the arrow comes in as well. Exorcism still up. Open wounds going down on the Outworld Devourer, but is able to defend the actual imprisonment. Overextended mid player, well overextended there. That 4-star on Fan of Soyon gives time to drop off the ult, but not doing as much damage as you would have hoped for. Reaper then being taken out in the background, and well, Wind Range will have to be well out.
Double damage room.
Yep, it is strong in this one. God's diving deep, wants this kill. Well,
Haste it. Yeah, you want time lapse, I would think.
yeah. Picks off the familiar. Who's somehow stunned after being dead? I don't know.
Yeah, that happens. It's not a bug, that's a feature.
Feature.
Now Lifestealer moving towards Assault Cure, slightly less avant-garde item selection. And I've got to say it, I've given it some time, I've let it percolate within my sleep-deprived
Heart and soul, yeah.
I've mulled, I've considered, and I think it might be shit.
Radiant's bottom
Yeah.
tower ain't a pretty
I
sight
think
right now.
it might be a horrible decision.
Yeah.
I mean,
I think more damage would be better.
you need
It's just
lockdown.
so much waste. It's so much waste because, as you say, you don't need the intelligence. The agility doesn't give you all that much help. And, yeah, a heart and Assault Cuirass, a damage item and Abyssal Blade, just any of these things.
And then, I mean, you want...
Basher gives the slow, like...
Yeah, Scatty, I mean, you wanted at least in part the slow effect, and against a Windrunner, doesn't work. Against a Yule Scepter from Death Prophet, doesn't work. Against 4-staffs, which there are plenty of, doesn't work.
Yeah.
Against Astral Imprisonment, doesn't work, but now in
that
Invest Bomb,
Invest
Famous in
Bomb.
deep trouble. Oh my goodness, the death of the destruction, and Meeple is gonna die as well. Oh, what a perfectly executed gank.
Yeah. Overextended mid player playing really well, and... yeah,
There goes
Batrider
Radiant's
just so
bottom
effective
tower.
in this game.
Abaddon getting caught out again.
I'm fantastic.
But I don't know if that's the worst problem. I think
No.
Team Love are going to use the time and space to try and force out a glyph, which they've done. Abaddon buys back for a TP in, and the Lord is getting taken out. God's doing all sorts of damage in the mid lane. Shakuji is in. Force is going to be able to TP out. Double TP will be able to, and Lane Break just not there in time. Meanwhile, the tier 3 been taken out by Fan of Soil and is feeling strong. Needs to pick up this tower. Needs to just slap it. Man up.
Give it the slap. Deliver the slap.
Oh,
Gonna
jeez.
latch. Power shot. Grave Chill. Soul Assumption. Doing no damage. Rages and gets back in. Open wounds laying down on Visage. And there is the Crystal Maiden ult. Freezing Field. Exorcism. so much damage from that OD.
Somebody's
But the OD will fall.
behind the top tower.
God's diving in deep, time lapses out time for damage. Mecha in some trouble. Fun diving in the fight, still has borrowed time available. Bounty Hunter immediately buys back after being picked off. Chim in a little bit of trouble, taking a whole lot of damage. And charges to try and recover
Oh,
some
that
health.
aphotic shield.
Takes a track, big aphotic shield. And that lasso being used by overextended mid player. Lovely shotgun on latch under Gods. Overextended big player, gonna take a fall. And now God's on the run. Fun and Chim also in some trouble. Aphotic shield being put onto God, but before the track point, so he's gonna have track on him as he tries to run away. And he can't run that fast, gets silenced up by the Bane, who's doing as much damage as he can. Crystal Bane looks like he's going to pull the Visage on the other side. And, entire love team takes a spill, and
Yep.
they lost a gem as well.
Yeah. Yeah, I know that you wanted that lifestealer to stay in there, but I think their whole team should have been able to like cost them a lot to get their entire team there, and then to lose it all as well. There wouldn't have been much loss in just getting back. They got that tier 3 tower in exchange for, well, Abaddon, and they didn't even get the tier 1 page 1.
Yeah, I mean, in my defense, Phantom Soil didn't actually manage to get a rage off, and
Yeah.
I don't think I've seen him even attempt an armor toggle. It is much more difficult, but get some style points if you make it work. You know?
Against that exorcism though, it is tough.
Dyer couldn't hang on.
It is
to
very,
that
very
tower.
tough, yeah. It's true. It's difficult. He has almost finished off his Assault Curious, and somehow, some way, he's maintaining a tremendous lead up, even after some unhelpful deaths in the network chart.
Yeah, he has taken a few spills, 3 deaths now, but just so far ahead from being allowed to farm up in that early game.
Yeah. How has Fun died 6 times? I mean, Abaddon isn't the easiest hero to kill. He's got mech, soul ring.
I think it's been the Yules, which I don't know. I haven't seen that often against an Abaddon, but it's been extremely effective.
Yeah, Yule's Death Prophet against Abaddon. I've tried it, and pretty sure you spent all last week ribbing me for my ineffective Yule's play, I would suggest.
Yeah. Exorcism was doing more healing than it was killing, let's just say that.
It killed our team indirectly. But anywho,
Yeah, that's true.
it
guess you
did
could say
a lot of work. Some of it even might have been positive. I think the key difference here is Death Prophet's been using the Yule offensively on the Abaddon. I was getting focused down. I was just too hard to carry. They knew they had to take me out.
Absolutely. And
No,
God,
Rush-
that Desolator doing work, taking Rush out really quite quickly, and I don't think there's anything that Page 1 can do about this. I imagine that Phantom Soyon will snap this up.
Roche is
Really?
tough, but the
Won't he?
Dyer's tough
Yeah, the
as
slot.
steel.
He was having a good hard think, and he continues to ponder the death of Roshan.
It's the philosophical
Just a moment of quiet.
But there is literally a circle of life in front of him, so that should reassure him.
He's still standing there, practicing his statue. What is
He's
going on?
He's practicing his avant-garde artistry.
Oh,
And
well,
no, he
that
doesn't
was-
have the commitment of others.
Yeah, just having a bit of a think. And now we'll return to the fight, devouring lives.
Yep. Pops up the Midas on the smallest creep he can find. No, wait. Yes, there it is.
Yeah.
And it looks like Courier's racing towards him with an AC available.
Yep, would like to see him infest into this Batrider, but it might be coming up. No, Batrider's going in by himself.
Going for an extension.
Yep, going for an overextension perhaps, but no, force staffing back out, bring Meeps with him with the defensive astral imprisonment on that. My god, Exorcism doing a lot of work on God, stunned up there. Oh, a perfect OD ult as well. Meep very low, taken out by the Abaddon. Now Allure just doesn't have the survivability required. Force staff out by Horza, but force staffed in is Fan of Soyon, doing some serious damage, and that Aphotic Shield makes him so survivable as if he wasn't survivable enough already, and Horza will finally be taken out. And, well, they're trapped back in their spawn, and this
Fan
is
of
not
Soyon.
looking good
Fan of
in the
Soyon.
slightest. Fan of Soyon doesn't have to do this, they should just take the rack and be happy with that. Neck,
He's gonna take a spill.
Well,
I think
why?
he's in trouble.
it's a
Ooh.
completely needless, well, that's 5. There he, okay. Didn't have to earn that, but he does.
Radiant's bottom rack.
Momentum player. Now Allure gets
Yeah.
pulled down. Chin manages to get frostbite on him just before he TP's back 5 meters to the town. Now another lasso being used on the Fame. He's going to take another straw. He's already brought back with a lovely 2-man latch from Wind Ranger, able to make him 5. Just that little bit longer neck with a mildly embarrassing 4-star doesn't make it him a fountain. Now GG called by the Fame.
Yep. And that'll be that. Yeah, it's fair play. I'm just diving so deep. I guess he knew that it was pretty much over, but
Momentum player.
yeah, does have a tendency towards diving way too deep. But a good game overall by him, really being given the room to farm, and like Love really doing well in pretty much all the lanes. The Batrider certainly struggling mid as you would expect against the Outworld Devourer, but really being able to overcome that by ganking really effectively, making really good use of that lasso and good movement around the map.
Decided that his lane wasn't working for him, and so went elsewhere, went to other people's lanes and won it for them. And in the end, far outstripping the Outworld Devourer, Allure not having nearly the impact he would have liked, and struggling to get any damage items up, and really didn't have anything to contribute to the team fight. One thing you can say for Scatty, the Sandy's Eclipse wasn't doing shit to lifestealer.
Yeah, that's true.
I still think it's rubbish.
Yeah. Yeah, I mean, Love could have won that even harder with the Weaver and Abaddon bottom going towards feed after getting a few really good early kills, so...
Yeah, it was progressing in a feedwards direction.
Okay, well, thank you, Thanatos, and thank you for watching.
Thank you, Alan.
Sweet.
See you again.